here we are. Another day, another 30-minute mechanic. Today, we're going to keep working on our throttle cable mount just a little bit. And we're probably going to final mount our turbo. So we have to pull it out of here. It's just sitting in there. Pull it out, loosen it, rotate the center section where it's a little more vertical. Bolt our drain line onto it, and then put the gasket in there, stick it in there, and bolt it in. So let's get at it. All right. Now, sometimes when you work by yourself, you got to come up with ways to do things without having an extra set of eyes or hands out. And sometimes you can use a video camera to do that. But a simpler way for what I'm doing here, what I'm going to do is I've got my throttle cable clamped on here. I want to know if that's going to pull enough to go to wide open throttle. So the way I like to try to do it is I'll take you see that right there? It's just a piece of copper wire, strip some wire, twisted it up. What I do is I'll twist it around the cable here to where it's kind of snug, but it'll move. See, it'll slide, but it'll stay wherever it goes. So what I do, set it right there. Now I'll go in, I'll mash the gas pedal, and then I'll see how far that moved, and then I can rotate that cable back and watch the butterfly at the same time and see if we're getting wide open throttle. All right, here we go. Mash the gas pedal. I can't get in the door. Oh. Wide open. Okay, let's go back and look at it. Hopefully I didn't let it snap back. Screw up my... Okay, so I left it pretty good. That stayed right where I wanted it to, I think. Now I can rotate the throttle. Get sure I keep that cable kind of tight. I pulled all the way back to there. That's definitely wide open throttle. That must have pulled the bracket towards it a little bit. But that'll work. So that tells me where I've got this clamped over here. I can go ahead and mark the hole, and then I can drill a hole, or I can just pull it off of there like it. Well, thought about tack welding that on there. But if I ever had to take it off, I guess it really doesn't matter. I could just tack it on there. If I ever have to take the cable off, I can just take the cable off at the cable takeoff spot. Either one of them. That may be, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tack weld it on there. I'll just leave it clamped. Well, dang it. It's not going to work. I got to take everything apart now to do that. Okay, my issue is there's only one hole that I'll be able to put a bolt through. There's two holes here, but the other one's right up here next to the edge of this. So can't put two bolts in. I can only put one in. So how do we want to go about this? Well, let's just take it apart and then I'll tack weld it together. All right. See if that'll... Well, that wasn't tight at all. Turn that with my fingers. Can I? I was probably just putting my arm right in front of the camera. That dude out. Come on. Uh-oh. Dropped my socket. Somewhere. Come on, get there. Okay. Cable is off. And now we got to get put that in my bolt box. Now we got to, let's find our socket first. Where'd that go? Oh, no! Almost. Ah, yes. Got it. I got it. Our kick down, I think, is a 10 millimeter. I hope it's not that's not the right cabinet. I hope it's not a, what's it called? Nylock. I don't think it is. Come on. Hooray. Okay. It was much easier than I anticipated. Pull that out. Let's just put the nut back on there. Okay. Now we can get our throttle body off, elbow off, take it back there, and just bzz, bzz with the welder, and we'll be done with that side of it. Wrench. It's finger tight. Okay. Now the body off. And notice, unlike the trick flow elbow, I was able to take the throttle body off without having to take this off. The trick flow one was too close to the oil filler, so you couldn't just take the throttle body off. One bolt. Come on, get up there. Okay, we got that loose. Now I'm not going to film this part because y'all have seen me weld already. I'm just going to go back there and put a few little zaps on it, and we'll be done with that. So hold on, hang on to what you got. Okay, our next little job while that thing's cooling, we're going to pull the turbo out of here. You can see this center section. It's on a pretty good angle because this turbo used to be sitting more straight up and down. It's kinked over like that. You can get by with it angled a little bit. I'd rather have it a little more vertical, mainly so the drain is pointed more straight down. So we're going to pull that off, and then we'll loosen these bolts around the turbine side, and rotate that dude around. I might actually mark it right now with a Sharpie so I'll know which way is really up. That way I can rotate it once and be done. So let's see here. Now this bolt right here, I'm going to put a mark on it. I'll just put a mark on the housing right there so I know that is pretty much the top. So we'll rotate this back where it's closer to this mark. Doesn't have to be right on it, but just closer where that's pretty much up and down. Vertical. Okay, let's pop it out and see if we can do that. All right, got me some tools. And let's grab a turbo. Bolt out. Again, these are 13 millimeter. Let me try to cheat it with the wrench technique again. I don't know if I can get it that way. Maybe. Let's find out. I don't know how to do this sometimes. Oh boy. I think it's just turning. Uh-oh, hang on. Okay. That was just turning the center section. See if we can do it this way. That is not going to work. Let me get my knee in there. Come on. Well. Okay. When in doubt, what do I do with the instrument of influence? See if we can just stick that on there and give it a little. There we go. Give it some little taps. I don't know why I didn't do this before. Because that worked very well. Amateur video of an amateur mechanic. Come on. There we go. Awesome. Now, one thing this is going to really help out, I don't know if you can see this, but our drain is real close to the edge of our flange here, and we actually had to flapper wheel that a little bit so we could get our big old AN fitting on there. By rotating this, it's going to move this thing back over this direction, so it's going to clear it quite a bit better. Let's see if we can turn that side. Where's our mark? Oh, that doesn't want to turn. Still. We have to loosen these quite a bit. Of course, this is the side of the unit that really gets hot, so it may not want to move. Come on. You have to really get these loose. You have to give it a little love tap with a hammer to get it started. I'm not sure. Well, that doesn't want to move. Come on. Talk to me. Let's go. Oh, boy. Yeah. Wheel. So we can bump that direction. Yep, I'm hammering on my turbo. I am. Gently. No. Just little guy. This little dude keeps wanting to turn. So you know what? I'll just let it turn. Right off. Sit right there. What can we grab onto? We find my big channel locks. Channel lockers. Maybe this will, maybe I can clamp onto something. Come back here. Clamp onto something here. Not sure if that's going to work or not. Maybe. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's not working. Huh. Well, let's a little time out here. All right, we're back. Okay. We dinged on a little bit, found one bolt that wasn't quite as loose as we wanted. And now we're going to rotate this. Where's my mark? Maybe back. I mean, how come you worked just a second ago? Just grab that. This. Come on, turn. I mean, I just turned you. What's going on here? literally just turned it. Well, maybe I didn't turn it. Hang on. All right. We got that rotated. That was not the easiest thing that I've done. In fact, that was very difficult. But it's done. So now we can tighten up these bolts. What it amounted to was me clamping the exhaust flange in the vise, and then taking a piece of roll cage tubing, setting it on the edge on the other side, and applying some influence with a sizable influence instrument of influence, also known as a hammer. So I didn't bash it, I just encouraged it. But I did finally get it to move. It didn't want to move. And I couldn't make it move with just my muscles. So he just took the hammer to it. Sometimes you got to use a hammer. Hope I got that kind of pointed in the right direction. This other side keeps turning and it really makes it hard to do stuff. Get my knee in there. There we go. Stabilize it with my knee. Notice how I'm accurately torquing all of these bolts. Call it knee pounds. Okay, that's about as good as that's going to get right there. Okay, I'm going to move you guys back over here. We'll stick it in there, and hopefully that deal is going to be kind of pointed in the right direction. I might go ahead and, before I do that, let's kind of get this drain line. Got this drain line. This end used to be connected on there. I think this time I'm going to put this. Ooh, that might not work. Maybe it will. Little whatever that. I don't know what that 45. I don't know what that degree bend is there. I do know that you have to wiggle it to get it on there. Let's see, how's this going to go now? Is that what I want to do? Oh, yeah. Sometimes I forget which way's up. I forget this flange is on an angle. So it's going to want to go out away from that flange. Let's get a crescent and put a little snug on that. That's probably big enough. Let's see. Of course, I'm going to get under there and it'll be pointed completely the wrong direction, I'm sure. This is another tool I have in my hand that's pretty snug. Maybe that'll kind of be the right way. There's another tool that's pretty handy. It's a locking crescent wrench. That one's made by Stanley. I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe I'll hold it over here. That is the best. You can put that on a bolt, clamp it on. In fact, on our Nanner, on our 73 Ford that we used to have, I clamped this to a bolt underneath it, forgot about it, and then found it a couple of months later, and it was still, I mean, we've been driving the truck and everything. Still hooked on. Great tool. Great adaptation of the locking stuff there. Okay, now maybe that's kind of pointed. It is not pointed in there. Is it? think it needs to go this way more. It needs to go that way more. I'm all disoriented. Okay. Turn this where. Yeah, that's got to go down. Get that pointed wrong direction. Needs to go. This EN fitting is not the highest quality, but it's only for draining oil back to the oil pan. I got lucky. This particular oil pan already has a return line plumbed into it, so we don't have to mess with that. Go ahead and one more little, turn that this way. Put my other knee on it. Now, not thrilled. That's going to bonk into the. Come on. I mean, how much can I struggle with this? I want to put. Need something to hold that. Keep it from turning. But I'm tightening it up. I think I got it. I think my wrench may be stuck now. Come on. Come on. Let go. There we go. Wrench is out. Okay, now let's go over here. Okay. Getting a little quicker at setting the camera up. Let's find our bolt here. Which one? That hole. That hole. Take the drain line and go down with it. Let's just see if we're going to be anywhere close to the. I still got to put the gasket in there, but I want to see. Did I go in the hole? I did not go. What the heck? Where'd the bolt go? There it goes. Oh, yeah. That's where we want the drain line. Yeah, much better. May have actually rotated that a little more than I needed to, but it gets our drain line pointed the right direction. Kind of out, in that way. Then it's got a loop around there and bloop, plug into the oil pan. I haven't looked at the fitting on the oil pan yet to know what it is, but I'm sure we can adapt to it and make it work. So now, suddenly that moves all around. Why? Don't know. Oh my gosh, that thing's loose now. Are you kidding me? Okay, we're going to pull it out and see if we can tighten it up. Okay, well, sometimes that's a caveat of 30-minute mechanic. You want to do something, but you don't get it done. And I didn't get the turbo put on. I did get the throttle cable mount welded to the elbow. And got everything set up. I think we're about ready. It just took me way too long today to get that hot side rotated on the center cartridge and get everything pointed the way it needed to be. And that silly drain line finally had to spray it with a little WD-40 so it would spin easier. I think I got it pointed the right way, but we'll pick this part up tomorrow. So let's head to the wrap-up. Hanging my head in defeat. Well, not really defeat. it's 30-minute mechanic. So, I mean, you only get 30 minutes to mess with it. Sometimes I get the stuff done I want to do. Sometimes you don't. That's the way it works. We did get the throttle cable mount all fixed up. It's still cooling over here. We'll play with that later. Just need to paint that thing and make it look a little presentable. We got our center section rotated on our turbo. That took way longer than I anticipated. I figured it would just turn, but it was super tight. It didn't want to move. Okay. Anyways, the turbo's ready to go on. We'll bolt it on, maybe bolt it on tomorrow. Maybe put the wastegate back on down there. And we might take a peek at our ECU that we're going to use for this car. We're not going to use the factory EEC4. They're great systems and they probably work fine for this amount of boost, but literally nobody, not literally, but there's only a few people that still understand them and can tune them properly. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of having to learn that or have somebody else do it. So we've got a system. It's plug and play. It's a neat deal. I'm familiar with the architecture, and it should be a good match for what we're doing here. And we'll show you that tomorrow. So that does it for today for 30-Minute Mechanic. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your friends, turn the videos, turn the playlist on, listen to them all at once. You know, if you're driving somewhere, turn it on, listen to it in the background, you know, my ramblings and whatnot. So anyways, we'll see you next time. Bye.